No matter where you are in your healing journey, these Facebook Lives will speak to you. They will. No matter where you are, if you're in the beginning, if you've been around this knowledge for a longer period, it doesn't matter. Alex is also in his hammock. Jealous again, my friend. It's great seeing you, my friend. I think I'm gonna get a hammock. Caught Alive, Joyce is here, awesome. Pendulation was helpful, Angie. You know, I love the feedback, I really do. The feedback is what makes the content, it really does. So, you know, be open with me, let me know how things are, you know, what spoke to you, what didn't, that sort of thing. Mom's here, hey Mom. Mariana is in Greece. Beautiful. These Facebook Lives will be posted on Sundays on YouTube. So don't be overly concerned as to, oh, I didn't get the full message and so on. Now today, let's get into our goal. Let's get into our goal. Journals at hand. Open mind, ready to go, ready to go. You never know what you will receive and what clarities and insights you're going to gain from this knowledge. Sean started the book this week. Give it up. Love it. On our way. On our way. If you haven't picked up the book, please do. Giuliano, great to see you, my friend. Great to be with all of you. Hello, Texas. Deep breath, open mind, absolutely. So we got the open mind. We got the book in hand. We got the pen. We're ready to go. And forgive me if I'm off the hook a little bit today. I've got this extra burst of energy, and it's going to be a very playful day, that's for sure. Mom, did you hear that? Mariana is grateful that you created this. Thank you. And so, I've got my reishi mushroom tea. What's everybody else drinking? 5 keys to becoming the next anxiety success story. 5 keys. What's interesting is that at this point, I don't do a whole lot of thinking when it comes to this content. Right? I receive your information. I go with my intuition, I trust it, and I go. It served me well. It's been proven to help people transform themselves away from anxiety, and I will continue to trust this intuition the same way you should, because you get to a point in this journey where you no longer are looking for specific techniques in order to continue on the healing path. Okay, you're not looking for tell me the exact technique to do, right? You're more so going about your day trusting in your intuition that says, hey, we need to do this right now. We'll need to focus more on our body. We'll need to focus more on our thinking. We'll need to focus more on imagery-based exercise. Whatever your intuition says to you after a set amount of time spent in your healing journey, we need to trust it, because that's the key. We can't rely on anything. We can't rely on anybody. The answers are always within, and those are the things that we must trust on this journey. Now, with these 5 keys to becoming an anxiety success story, I'm going to try to explain them in detail, my friends, but they are crucial. They really are. I mean, these aren't the only things, but they are some of the things that we have to keep in mind while we're going from an anxious identity to an inner peaceful one. Okay? Because why are we doing this? Why are you here? Why are you spending this time, this energy, all this investment in on this path? You're looking to not so much live a comfortable life. You're looking to get better at problem solving when the challenges occur. one of the mindsets aside from the 5 keys that we need to have is that we cannot go about our lives hoping that we are comfortable, that we wake up in the morning, everything's going to be fine and dandy. We can't have that, because life equals challenges, inner challenges, outer challenges. Instead, when you wake up in the morning, it's the ability for you to say, hey, if the problems arise, I'll be right there to heal that inner wounded child. I'll be right there to take care of this, this challenge, this problem. So the mindset as you go about your life, I've found, my friends, is very, very crucial, right? Without the mindset, the skill sets are useless. Without the mindset, you're going to find that you don't become as mindful as you need to be as you're going through the day, right? So please take on that mindset. Now, the first key to becoming the next anxiety success story, because it's happening every single day, it seems, is this. Understand that the large majority of your fears are lies. And they're based around the concept, which I will explain, the concept around the emotional refractory period. This is a very important term. This term was coined by the great Paul Ekman in his book, Emotions Revealed. I highly recommend that you pick up that book. Paul Ekman, Emotions Revealed. He says the emotional refractory period. Your emotional state prior to getting caught up in the fear is the source of your anxiety, not the present fear itself. So, many times, let me put this into a nutshell here. TJ, how are you? Great to see you. As we go through our day, we say, I feel X, and the problem is X. Right? Hardcover's out. Hardcover's out. Paperback is out, Michael. Paperback is out. Hardcover, well, we're working on it. As we go through the day, the fears that arise through our bodies and our minds aren't really the cause of your anxiety. It's not the sensation. It's not the symptom. It's not the outside challenge that you're facing in the moment. Momentum is very, very important in the healing journey. If you're in an emotional state that is neutral or pleasant, and you get the same situation or the same scenario on the outside or the sensation on the inside, you will be readily available to take care of it. Because what's important to understand is that you've handled these exact same anxiety occurrences very well in the past. And then other times you haven't dealt with them as well. So we have to ask ourselves, is this thing that I'm concerned about really, the bottom line of my anxiety? Or is my emotional state as I'm going through the day the thing that is causing me to misinterpret the things that I believe are causing my anxiety? Your world is colored by your emotional state, which makes your daily self-care habits that much more important. When you wake up in the morning and make your bed, you're off to a good start. When you get up in the morning and you're either journaling or very specific ways of journaling, like how I explain in the videos and the programs, or you do some kind of physical activity or reframing exercise, then you have momentum. Your emotional state is getting to a place where you will begin interpreting things differently than if you would wake up in the morning and do everything at random. Okay? What we don't want to do during the anxiety healing journey is do too many things at random. Because if we do, we will be forced to move back into a place of habitual ways of thinking about things. We don't want that. We don't want habit, okay, to override our critical thinking. So the emotional refractory period is this. Let's say you have a fight with someone in the morning, this huge fight. What's going to happen is, for a set period of time throughout the day, you're going to stay in that same angry, full emotional state that you were in while you were in the fight. So, when a sensation or symptom or something bothersome shows up, you're going to get caught up in it. And your self-worth is going to go down, and your feelings of inner capability will go down, your self-esteem will go down. Mary, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. So, in a nutshell again, it's the thing that you think is causing your anxiety isn't causing your anxiety. Your fears are lies based on the emotional state that you're finding yourself in consistently. Okay? Now, when we do the self-care, when we do the reframing, responding, as I mentioned in the book, when we have the right mindset, then the symptom, the person, the blah, 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 the whatever shows up that usually bothers us doesn't bother us anymore. Okay? And this is a very simplistic way of explaining something that is so much more, complicated. There's a lot to it. So we can't go about our days thinking that what we're thinking about is the truth. Okay? We can't go about our days thinking that what we're thinking about is the truth, because it's not the freaking truth. It's not, guys. I realized this after years and years and years and years and years of studying and being a part of an anxiety disorder for decades. What we feel isn't the truth. What we think isn't really thinking. It's hard to understand that concept, right? We think we're thinking when we're not thinking, we're just reacting, right? We're just playing out a similar scenario in our heads. Comment below and let me know that you understand number one, when in these 5 keys to becoming the next anxiety success story. Because it's important to understand, right? I love that you're here with me. I love that we're here together. I love that we're growing together. I love that we're solving problems together. Okay, Karen understands. If there are any question marks in this, please ask, right? Because, what I don't want is everybody just to agree with what I'm saying, right? Just, if there's something there that's missing, bring it out. Jesse, how do we address the emotion? Well, when we have an emotional response to something, we have to understand, first of all, that our emotional response to that very thing isn't the truth, but our emotional response is based on, I call it the volcano effect. A volcano wants to spew out lava, just like our bodies wants to discharge some energy, negative or positive energy. And in a particular moment, it has the opportunity to do that. So when we have an emotional response, such as anger or anxiety, we have to ask ourselves, what's unresolved? What's unresolved? Because whatever's unresolved will play out in your body on a daily basis until you provide it with some resolution. Many people carry guilt within them. And I believe it's, who said that? I believe it was, let me think about this for a second. Yeah, I can't quite remember who said it, but it was really interesting. I'm pretty sure it was a she, said that unforgiveness is the root cause of all illness. I think it was in the book, God, I can't even remember the book. But anyway, unforgiveness. So the unforgiveness that we carry around, that, specialists and professionals won't tell us, the emotional connection to physical disability. They won't examine that aspect, right? We'll be, majority of the time, given a psychologist in some sort. But I have so much respect for therapists today, but I also believe that there's a lot of missing components to the most common form of therapy. But aside from that, unforgiveness towards others or yourself. I don't forgive myself for failing so many times. I can't forgive myself for making that mistake in the past. I can't forgive myself for going through an anxiety disorder. Just to answer that question in terms of emotions, right? There's always, and I call it the peeling the onion effect. Peel the onion and recognize what's unresolved that's coming out in the present moment. Okay? Because if you're anxious about a symptom, I can promise you it's not the symptom. If you're anxious about an intrusive thought, I can promise you it's not the thought. If you're anxious about what somebody did on the outside, I can promise you it has nothing to do with them. Number 2. We'll go slowly here. If you have any questions, we'll go for it. All right? Steven, great to see you. Fantastic, fantastic guy. What if you are not ready to forgive someone? The question is why? Why wouldn't you be ready to forgive someone? I found that I gained a tremendous amount of self-respect by forgiving other people. Because the forgiveness part comes with a lot of instability, right? It comes with a lot of feelings of vulnerability. If I forgive someone, then I wouldn't be able to look at myself in the face or whatever it may be. And Tammy's come up with a situation here that is absolutely, the most challenging thing we could ever possibly encounter in our entire lives. So let's not think that anyone that has taken the life of our child will be easy to forgive. I'm so sorry to hear that, Tammy. But without forgiveness, and I say this with a whole open heart, without forgiveness, there really is absolutely no possible way to move forward in our lives. There is no way that we can move forward in our lives. Now, Tammy, with a tremendous amount of love and respect for you, the forgiveness isn't for the other person. The forgiveness is done for you. The forgiveness is for you. When we forgive someone, it's because we're not willing to carry around the labels, the judgments, the heavy emotional baggage that we've been carrying around for years. We say, you know what, that's enough. It's enough, it's enough, it's enough. I'm worthy of more. I deserve more. I am more. I'm becoming more. And I had to really dig deep with my own, because I was a very stubborn person, right? I thought that what I believed at a core level was true, and nobody could talk me out of it, right? And that stubbornness led me to compounding levels of anxiety. And I do believe that with forgiveness work, there has to be there has to be, not some, there has to be a massive shift at a heart level. At a heart level. And I'll probably go through this a little bit as we go forward. But if things don't change at a heart level, at a deep feeling rooted level, then nothing changes. You'll notice that. People can forgive and they can think differently. People can act and behave differently. People can think that their identity has shifted. People can think that they've put the past behind them just because of time. Just because they've moved forward in time, they think that the past is behind them. The body never forgets. The body never forgets. So if there is sensitivity in the body, if there is ill health, if there is dizziness, depersonalization, sensations, whatever the body is saying, the language of the body, then it's our job, the job of our minds, to create some kind of resolve there. But again, my heart goes out to you 1000%. And let me tell you something. The people here will lift you up, Tammy, to a whole nother level. These people here have inspired me to be on this journey, hopefully for the rest of my life. And you're in a good place. You're in a very good place right now. And I urge you to just take the baby steps. You know, Rome was not built in a day, and neither do we have to end an anxiety disorder right here, right now. We must take these lessons. We must go through the discomfort that we need to in order to get to that beautiful place. I say it over and over again, that healing is a messy journey. Healing is a messy journey. I can tell you that from firsthand experience. If you experience severe levels of anxiety disorder that many people don't understand, it's going to be messy. So we have to embrace that messiness. I love you guys. I really do. And these sorts of, I mean, yeah. Number two key to becoming an anxiety success story. Embrace self-discovery daily on the path towards healing. Embrace self-discovery daily on the path towards healing. What does that mean? You know what that means? That means that we think that we know ourselves very well when in fact we have absolutely no clue. And I'm not saying that to downplay you. I'm not saying that to be mean or to be rude. I'm not saying that. The truth. And if you're crying right now, Trudy, and anybody's crying, then that's fantastic. Like I say, the worst invention ever were tissues. I don't believe tissues should ever have been invented. We should never have to wipe away our tears. Embracing self-discovery daily on the path towards healing. Getting to know your authentic self takes courage, because the world seems like, and is, looking to mold you in the same way that they are. And so when the molding, when this sort of daily occurrence happens, where you meet someone, you go about your day, and we're always connecting with people, going about your day, and you're more interested in feeling connected with that person and bringing out your authentic self, then you're not being true to yourself. Looking to be connected with people in any way possible is a bad approach to living, I've realized, because we will accept the beliefs of others without having a word. We will act like others. We will mirror others. We'll do whatever it takes, and next thing you know, we find ourselves in a negative place, all for the sake of connectedness. Instead, we want to connect with people that are courageous enough to get back on the path towards their authentic self and redesigning their identity. Redesigning your identity means to question everything that you have become. Questioning everything. Do you think that you were born with this level of fear? I don't fully believe in it. I believe that we learned it. And so anxiety, in that case, is nothing more than a bundle of habits based around PTSD. Period. Why do we have to make anxiety so complicated? Right? PTSD happens. Subsequent events happen. More subsequent events happen. More core beliefs at a young age get strengthened. Next thing you know, we believe X and Y and Z about reality and ourselves. And we go about our lives believing a lie. We're believing a lie about ourselves. We're believing a lie about what reality is. So embracing self-discovery is going about your day, getting to know your authentic self more. And simultaneously, recognizing the opportunities to be your authentic self, the person you're redesigning. You're redesigning it because you have been this person between the ages of 0 and 5, 0 and 7. We'll say 0 and 7. That's your authentic self. We want to get as close to that as we can. Of course, you add the adult mind into that, some further intelligence and knowingness and so forth, but we're talking about what you were at a heart level, not what you are at a mind level. So as you go through your day, you realize something new about yourself and you go, my God, wow, I never realized that. And you go write it down, your new insight, your moment of clarity, you write it down and you brainstorm it, you analyze it, and you recognize how you haven't in fact embraced this true you for such a long period of time. So embrace self-discovery. Comment below if number 2 makes sense. Very simple, very powerful. It can run really, really deep. You have no friends on Facebook, Amira? Then that's fine. Oh, okay. You're just using Facebook for this? Okay. Perfect. It's great. I mean, minimalism is key. I love having a handful of really close friends. I don't know if I could handle more. I personally don't know if I could handle more than a handful of really close people that I can trust. Therefore, therefore I am my authentic self with people, whether they like it or not. And that is a level of freedom that not many people get to experience in this lifetime. But I know that we together are getting there, right? You guys got it? Perfect. Number 3. And this goes hand in hand with the video this week. Utilize any form of somatic healing in your daily recovery toolbox. And I mentioned this in the book. Utilize any form of somatic, body-based healing in your daily recovery toolbox. Now, this is important. Why? Because if you look at the self-help world, the majority of the self-help world says, hey, it's your thoughts. It's all about your thoughts. Thoughts, thoughts, thoughts. Okay, well, thoughts without getting your heart involved in what you're thinking is pretty much useless. Now, what I've found in my own research and my own experiences with myself and other people is that we can more quickly affect the mind and the heart through somatic-based healing processes faster than thoughts affecting the body and the heart. Does that make sense? So if I shift, like EFT, we'll do some tapping stuff, energy work, reframing with a somatic component. For example, I'll ask people, hey, where do you store that fear in your body? They'll say right here, and where does it usually move afterwards? Over here. And what's the color associated to it? It's X, and it's this, and it's that. And so what would you, how would it feel if you pulled it out of you? Okay, we'll do this. Anything that engages the body as a daily toolbox, in your toolbox for healing, is very crucial. Okay, so get the body involved every day. And when I'm talking about body, I'm talking about shifting your emotional state in the quickest way possible through breathing. Okay, breathing patterns, very, very important. Okay, anything related to your posture, very, very important. If you can buy a posture corrector, that's fantastic. Those are so helpful. And there's so many things out there. In fact, David Snyder on YouTube does a lot of work, somatic work, right? He's always pointing to where things are in the body and pulling it out and manipulating it, shifting it. So if you're getting your body involved, then great. Right? Similar to pendulation, how we did that. But what we don't want to do, and I'm not a big fan of this, actually. I'm not a big fan of hypnosis, where, someone's hypnotized and they look like a vegetable sitting in their seat. You know what the problem there is that the hypnosis itself is speaking to just one part of the subconscious mind, the brain. But the hypnosis itself isn't considering the largest part of the subconscious, which is the body. So when we're in a less transic place, right? We're still, in a calm place, but we're utilizing the body. We're getting the body involved in the process. It's that much more powerful. So, number 3, utilize somatic healing exercises every single day. Oh, what have I been doing lately? Oregano, however you want to say it. Oregano every morning, a little bit in the water. Bunch of essential oils here. I think EFT is good. EFT is good, but at the same time, I don't think EFT is complete, if that makes sense. I don't think it's complete. That's why when you read the book, F Coping, Start Healing, you'll recognize that there's a whole package involved, right? There is the somatic component, there's the imaginary component, there's the mental component, there's the spiritual component, okay? And we want to get to a place where we habitually use, certain techniques every day to blast through each and every one of these. Number 4. You must be willing with an open mind. You must be willing to accept that your emotional state determines your physical state. This is where a lot of people get caught. They get caught thinking that, especially in the sensitizing world that we call anxiety, they get caught thinking that what they feel in their physical body is related to a structural issue that has nothing to do with their emotional body. When we can understand that the physical body is a reflection of the emotional body, we will then begin committing to changes in the emotional body. When the emotional body heals, the physical body heals. As Mr. Joe Dispenza says, the healing is in the feeling. And I believe that to be 1,000% truth. And he's got the science behind it. Now, not putting doctors down, right? Because they're vital. But if you go to the doctor for a particular symptom or a discomfort, you're not going to hear a word that's connected to the emotional body, right? It won't be the fact that, hey, have you really, at a heart level, really let go of that thing that happened when you were 10? You won't hear that, right? You won't hear that. You won't hear anything related to responding rather than reacting in a challenging situation. So, number 4 is straightforward, but it's one that a lot of people have difficulty accepting because they feel like if they do fully accept that the emotional body is affects the physical body the most, and they miss something in their physical body, then they're going to live with a tremendous amount of guilt and blame for themselves. Now, we got to put that fear aside. We have to put all that fear aside. I've read the emotion code, Steve, a couple years back, I believe, or a while back. Yeah. So let's go through a couple of comments, guys. Make sure that all of this is making sense to you. Okay? And if you have any questions related to it, just bring it up. Jason, you probably have a past either personal experience or something that you witnessed in somebody else related to vitamins. Or you probably have an inner core belief within you that is overriding, you're overriding the part of you that genuinely believes that vitamins are good for you and essential and so forth. I get my vitamins through food. I think that's the best way and the most natural way that we can nourish our bodies. I don't rely on a ton of supplements. Zinc a little bit. I do take zinc supplements, but the majority is from food, which is the way I believe it's supposed to be. Any books I recommend reading, Angie? I do have a list, actually a huge blog post on that if you want to. Actually, I think I have a YouTube video on it as well. If you go on YouTube and look up books, The Anxiety Guide, or if you go to theanxietyguide.com and look up books, right? Just put the keyword in. You're going to see plenty, lots of good books. You love the ebook, Giuliano. That's awesome. Where are you in the book? Are you in the beginning, middle, towards the end? Glad you're enjoying it. Now here's the problem that a lot of people run into. Trying to figure out the root causes of their anxiety. Now, here's what I believe in my heart. I believe the root causes of our anxiety comes to us in time without forcing it. I believe that we don't think our way into recognizing the root cause because the whole purpose of the subconscious mind, body, is to keep the conscious mind away from re-traumatizing itself. Okay? So what we have to understand when we're finding the root causes is this. We don't go head first looking for the exact root cause. Okay? What we do is we engage in certain activities every single day. We engage in certain self-care routines that brings the subconscious mind, that allows the subconscious mind to bring out the root cause in time. We feel the root cause. We don't think the root cause up. Okay? We feel it. So we may be going through our day spontaneously and we feel like, man, I really haven't gotten rid of this thing yet. Okay? And so, bang. What's it connected to? Well, it's connected to this experience. Okay, work on that experience. I don't think we should get so caught up in what the root cause is. I think we should just, get to a place where we begin the self-care work. We begin the healing journey. Emotional reframing, as I mentioned in the book, will get us there quickly, but there's a lot of people that are also not very comfortable, and not very well practiced in the art of visually imagining and going through that whole process. So when looking for the root cause, please don't get frustrated because you're trying to think about it, because you can't think about it. You're not going to bring it up by thinking. You're going to bring it up by feeling it. And by feeling it, the feeling will show up as you do the things you need to do for yourself. And when you ask yourself, what do I need? You need to basically ask yourself two things. What do I physically need and what do I spiritually need? What do I physically need? What's my body telling me that it needs more of? Right? And what do I spiritually need? I need to be connected. I need to be connected to an invisible energy source that is much more intelligent than my conscious mind is. Okay, this is where people get a little bit stuck. All right? Because I'm going to talk about faith, I'm going to talk about God, but you'll notice that I won't talk about any particular entity or being or anything like that specifically. Your God is your God. I don't care if you look at this pen and go, this pen is my God, I'm bringing it everywhere. If you listen to the movie or you watch the movie The Secret, many years ago, The Secret, there's a lot of laws that they left out. But what was interesting in that movie was when there was, I believe, a child, or was it an adult, I'm not sure, but the child was dying, ill, right, on his deathbed. And the father grabbed these rocks from the beach, put the rocks beside them, and created a certain belief into the child based around those rocks. It said, these rocks are healing rocks, right? They are healing rocks. They will give you exactly what your body needs. So with a huge amount of trust and faith, right, the child was able to heal himself simply by believing in something. Believe in something or fall for anything. That's what I say. Believe in something or fall for anything. So, and if we're going to talk about the spiritual component, don't be afraid of taking on a new meaning around God just because it goes against what you're brought up to believe. Okay, a lot of people kind of get away from things. They don't believe things that are different because it goes against what they were told to believe when they were kids. Don't allow this to be you, because you're a unique being. You're on this personal journey, right? And you got to basically put all that fear and discomfort aside and be open. Be open to your own interpretations of everything. Everything. All right, if I look at something, what do I believe that thing is? Right? Not what other people think. What do I believe? When will my brain and body accept that I am healing and not draw me back to the anxiety cycle? Amira, that is when you are ready to take on a brand new identity and not feel like what you're doing should simply lead to an end result. A lot of people do the right things, but they're afraid to become someone different. Okay? You can't, it's kind of like the Matrix movie where Neo goes through that whole reincarnation. There's a lot of pain there. You have to start in your heart in your heart, believing that you're someone different. Okay, you're not someone who entertains fearful ideas. You're not someone who, speaks in terms of being a victim or helpless. You can do all the right things, but have a certain fear of becoming someone different, and that can hold you back. Your brain and body will accept this new you when it has recognized that you are putting in the effort, and it judges effort by the emotions that you feel and repetition. Okay, so if you're starting to emotionally feel differently in situations where you normally feel anxious, it's going to start accepting the new you, right? When you do this enough times, because a lot of people give up on good habits when they start healing, right? Ooh, I feel better now. I can stop doing all those things and go back to the stuff I was doing when I was anxious. No, you can't. You can't. Okay? So, I hope that shed a bit of light there. And if I may, let's understand that healing isn't only about doing. Okay? Healing anxiety, healing emotional distress, healing any kind of, negative feelings that we don't want to associate with anymore is partly about the doing, and then it's partly about the letting go, or just the simply being part. It's kind of like, okay, I got a morning routine and I did something really good for myself, and I know I did, and now I'm going to go sit outside and allow the clarity to show up, or I'm going to sit in darkness or lay down or take a nap. I'm going to do nothing. So you're re-educating yourself through these new habits, behavioral habits, other habits, but it's also about the not doing, right? And it's the not doing that scares a lot of people, because they feel like they always have to do, learn, in order for them to force healing upon themselves. And we all know what happens when we force healing upon ourselves, right? The mind, body, spirit will reject it. Healing is a natural process. Healing is a natural process. Finding the root causes of your distress is a natural process. Overcoming anxiety, I'll tell you something. The day I recognized that I overcame anxiety, I didn't even realize it. I was there. I'm like, whoa, I feel completely different when I pulled my car aside. As you'll notice in the first book, pulled my car aside, I've overcome anxiety. And it wasn't like this massive party. It was like, okay, well, I've done the inner work and I've let go enough, and now my system is completely invested in someone new. Right? So there's a lot there to uncover. But let me tell you something for sure. All right? The heart must lead the way. If there's no shifts at a heart level, at a deep feeling level, then nothing is changed. There are some roadblocks there. There is a fear of change. There is a fear of the unknown. There's a fear of feeling vulnerable. Right? And so we go back and forth in this limbo. Don't want a limbo. I don't want a limbo. We want to have the most linear and direct path to healing as we can find. I believe that everybody is exactly where they need to be. That's the truth. I do believe you're led to this information. I do believe that you're led to this group of people. I believe that you are led to these answers right here, right now. And you're exactly where you need to be in this journey, right? If you're going through distress, there are things to learn. If you're going through distress, there are things to implement and and more self-care to be made. There's more responding and reframing work. Okay? And if you feel like you're 80, 85% there, then it may be time for you to provide the same piece of advice for somebody else. Stephen, he's in this chat, is a good example of that. And he's naturally gotten there. I know he has. The last 10 to 15% of the healing journey is providing what you know to other people. Okay, what's worked for you? Everybody, and I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of people out there right now are going through anxiety, going through a very sensitized time. And you have things that you can say and do to help those people. That's the end. That's when you truly prove to yourself that it's safe to become that new person, right? Number 5. We touched on this. Work towards, this is important, work towards heart, brain, and spirit coherence, not just brain-related improvements. Okay? What that means is you have to work towards feeling differently in those particular situations. You have to work towards thinking differently. And you have to work towards trusting in a source that is looking out for your best interest. It's the combination of those 3 things, right? Susanna feels like she's 85% there. I love it. Give her a hand. And I'll tell you something. Susanna is on the Facebook Members Lounge. She's posting almost every day successes and quality questions. She's taking a boatload of notes. She's doing the inner work. She's helping other people. She is relentless. Stephen is relentless. Joshua, I can tell, is relentless. These people are role models. Okay? Role models are not celebrities. Okay, those are not role models. Okay? They're not celebrities. They're not movie stars. They're not singers. Those are not role models. Okay, they have done nothing for you to model yourself behind. Okay, people that are in this group are role models. People that have gone through severe anxiety disorders and have found a way to meet with inner peace are role models. You have to pick your role models correctly. You have to pick them right? Because the world will tell you one thing to believe and your intuition will tell you another. And I promise you, if you follow what the world tells you to believe, you're going to be led to a really deep, dark ditch that's highly confusing. So, our job, my friends, in number 5, is to make sure that we feel like there is a coherence. There is a sense of harmony going on in our entire systems, right? That's what we want to feel. We want to feel like when we're in a situation that normally troubles us, we want to be able to say, hey, I feel differently here. Hey, I'm thinking about this differently here. I have faith and trust that this is only going to make me better. We want to feel like there's a complete system all working together within us. Okay? So I urge you not to see this journey strictly through the eyes of thinking differently, because I don't believe that's enough for the majority of people. Be open. Be open, be open, be open, be open. Number 1 was, again, understand that the large majority of your fears, write these down, guys, it's very important. Large majority of your fears are lies. They're lies based on your emotional state that has led you to believe in the lies, right? The emotional state came first, and then the fears and the lies came second. And when the lies, oh my God, this, oh my God, that, right? When the lies show up, it's your job to say, What happened before that showed up? Right? Did I have positive or did I have negative momentum? 110% of the time you've got negative momentum. You wake up in the morning and you may feel like the day is going to be a challenging day, right? And when you think that, it compounds and it moves from here to there and so on, and you find yourself experiencing things you don't want to. It's not an accident. Anxiety is not an accident. You know, physical distress, these sensations are not an accident. This way of thinking is not an accident. Okay, there is a reason. Like we said, habitual. Number 2 was embrace self-discovery daily on the path towards healing. Number 3 was utilize any form of somatic, body-based healing in your toolbox each and every day. Get the body involved in the healing journey. Number 4 was willingly accept that your emotional state determines your physical state. Make a connection. Right? If you feel physical discomfort of any kind, know that your emotional state is the main culprit to feeling that in your physical body. Number 5, work towards a complete system, guys. A complete system. Heart, brain, spirit coherence, all together, working in harmony. And one of the things I recognized in this journey was, and it took decades to get to this place, that life could in fact be lived effortlessly, right? Life could be lived effortlessly. Doesn't matter what job you're in, doesn't matter who you're around, doesn't matter what's going on the outside, right? You get to a place in your life, and this is a great time for this, to build up to this, where you don't feel like you're struggling, where you don't feel like you are forcing or willing your way through things or fighting your way through things. This really is a very interesting time. James, have a great weekend. Let's give it up for James, huge contributor, the members lounge everywhere, a total inspiration. Ups and downs, we are with you, my friend. Great to see you. Missed the 5 points. Giuliano, just listen to it again later. It'll be up or on YouTube on Sunday. Questions, guys. Write down your questions. Comment on your questions. I know we're going a little bit overboard, but I hope that's okay with you. And I'll do my best to answer those, either related to what we talked about today or anything else, whatever. Questions on toques, tea, whatever. Fully loaded with tremendous energy. I'm going to go for a bike ride. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Angie, any thoughts on numbers that come up in your daily situations? For example, I constantly see the number 66 come up on my journey. You are speaking the language that I love hearing. I love it. Angie, go on YouTube, look up Angelic Numbers, the anxiety guy. Just write that down. Angelic Numbers, the anxiety guy. There's one video and it's about 10 minutes long. It will provide you with some insight into this. Interesting path that you're on, though. We have to go through fear to succeed. Which step would that fall into? All of them. All of them. Because we don't heal until we embrace the vulnerability that we feel every day. You know, the problem is that a lot of people out there are looking to live a comfortable life, and every time things get uncomfortable, they don't know what to do, like I mentioned earlier. But it's vitally important that we don't see fear as a bad thing, but we see fear as a misinterpretation based off of beliefs and experiences from our past and past conditioning, and we respect fear. We respect it, but we don't become attached to it, right? Like if I fear something, I'll say, I respect you. I see where you're coming from. Maybe there's some unresolved things there, or whatever it may be. But I'm not going to follow you, because if I follow you, I know where that's going to lead me. And I've already chosen, and I'm working on becoming someone different. Therefore, I'm sorry, I respect the fear, but I choose to believe something different. We always have a choice. Remember that. We always have a choice on how to interpret things. People don't shift until they begin providing themselves more options on how to interpret something, right? If you're always caught up in one or two options, then of course you're not going to heal. But when you can begin to recognize the numerous possibilities on how to perceive something and how to act differently, then you've got a massive opportunity there. Can you possibly be healing even though you still have random symptoms or pains? Absolutely, Nara. Absolutely. In fact, many times in the healing journey, people can become more symptomatic. They can experience more pain because the subconscious isn't fully comfortable with the changes yet. So you can most definitely experience that. On a side note, in my own journey, I didn't get too caught up in the symptoms. I knew that what I was doing was right for me, and I had faith that it was going to lead me to where I wanted to go. You just need more time. You just need more time, right? It's that ability for us to not force the healing because we get to a point where we can't put up with the pain or the distress anymore, right? But if you're doing all the right things that we're mentioning in this knowledge, this Facebook Live, the books, the programs, then you're there. You're getting there. You're getting there. Luz, you love the book. That's awesome. Love it. Joshua says self-hugs are awesome. Yes, sir. Absolutely. And yeah, any other questions? Let's see. Let us scroll. EMDR is great. I don't know why your therapist would say you're not ready. I think that I don't know what constitutes being ready for EMDR. I don't know. Maybe the therapist has a perception that that you may be still too highly sensitized and not able to let go to the process of Mira. That's a possibility. But I haven't heard that term before, not being ready, because there is no right time for any of these kinds of healing modalities. You just got to do them. You just got to do them and give them an opportunity to work as you relentlessly do them again and again and again and again. But if we continue to wait for the right time to do what's right for us, we'll be waiting forever. That's the truth. Barbara, love Eat to Beat Anxiety. That's awesome. Going through the program. I love it. I love it. Keep it up. Natasha, I think my root cause that I can't have another child and there's nothing I can do about this. I don't know how to deal with accepting this. Well, what's great for you in your life that we have no choice but to perceive that differently. So I would begin with recognizing all the things that are pleasant and good about not having another child, as silly as that may sound to some people. If we continue to allow ourselves to think the same way about something that happened or is happening in our lives right now, then we'll continue to live with emotional distress forever. But the question is, why is it a good thing? Why is it a good thing? I would go searching for answers constantly around that, and then I would start acting in line with those new answers. That's what I would do. How do we start the program? TheAnxietyGuy.com under my programs. TheAnxietyGuy.com. Thank you, Susanna. Do me and Robin want more of what, I wonder, Michael? I find a lot of quotes very motivating, Angie. I find a lot of quotes very motivating. It would be next to impossible for me to think about one quote in particular. Um, don't believe everything you feel. I made that one up. Yeah. Haven't looked at it from that perspective exactly. I mean, everything shifts when we can become open-minded, Natasha, to a new way of perceiving something. You know, we have to allow ourselves, we have to be open to that world. And sometimes it takes longer for some people compared to other people. Um, Courage is a decision, Michael. Kids. Oh, more kids. No, I think we're good with one. We're good with one kid. Um, Having a great time. Things are going great. I mean, you know, we didn't really even plan the first one, you know. So super honesty coming out. But we're happy right now. We're in a great place. No plans. No plans. Don't believe everything you feel. Yeah. That's the quote I kind of came to my mind. I feel one thing and have the worst mornings ever. Well, you know, Morella, I believe that you're still new to this page and new to this journey. And in time, I feel like things are going to start changing. So give yourself time. I make beautiful babies. Great. Thank you. I love it. Let's see what else we got. Mariana, you're on day 5 of the inner circle. Oh man, I love it. I love that you're on. I mean, anybody that says they're on the inner circle program, I kind of get tingles because it's such a complete program. And I'm really excited for people that are committed and will stick to that program through the ups and the downs that you will experience, the challenges and the successes. But that inner circle program, it took a long time to put it together, but those are the pieces that you need. I'm so happy for you. And we'll end it there, guys. Thanks for being a part of Facebook Live. Enjoy your tea. Have a wonderful weekend. Comment below if this Facebook Live talked to you, spoke to you, if you feel like it made a slight difference or a massive difference in your life. Comment below. Let me know. And if you need to go through, you know, the 5 steps again, this will be up on YouTube on Sunday. You can rewatch this here. But, you know, best thing is not to just, you know, go through some valuable information and then kind of leave it alone. What you want to do is maybe go for a walk and brainstorm and find out what you gain from it and process it at a deeper level. But I'm so proud of every single one of you. Natasha, fantastic questions. Colby, great to see you. I just saw you, man. Great to see you. Anissa, your love and support is amazing. TJ, Steven is here somewhere. Josh, Susanna, always so great. Morella, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. And enjoy the weekend, my friends. More than anything, I want you to go ahead and ask yourself one simple question as you go through the day. And ask yourself this question as many times as you can this weekend. What's fun about this? Doesn't matter what you're doing, but just find what's fun about that particular thing that you're doing in that moment. Love you all. You are more than anxiety. I'll see you all very soon. Bye, guys.